Most organizations treat ISO 9001 or 14001 certification as a static compliance requirement. They engineer their management systems specifically to pass an external audit. Receiving that certificate rarely translates to measurable operational ROI. The system satisfies the auditor, but it doesn't improve the process. This dynamic creates the dreaded paperwork trap. The system is designed merely to archive past performance rather than control future outcomes. This trap creates immediate friction. Quality and EHS departments push compliance, while floor operators see a disconnected administrative burden that interrupts actual work. If an ISO framework exists only to satisfy auditors, it is a bureaucratic cost center rather than an organizational asset. To extract actual value, ISO management systems must be re-engineered as operating systems. An operating system actively dictates process control and sustains compliance in real time. This model sustains customer-focused process control for ISO 9001 and maintains environmental compliance for ISO 14001. Risk-based thinking is integrated directly into the daily workflow so that every action accounts for potential process drift. This active management replaces the standard industry practice of performing a single check-the-box risk review once a year. Moving from a static binder to a dynamic framework requires a different execution architecture. An operating system uses standards to engineer future performance, shifting ISO out of the archive room and onto the production floor. This execution architecture uses a 4-quadrant closed-loop cycle. In the build phase, you define the scope and interested parties before writing documentation. You then map out core, support, and management processes. This step aligns identified risks with measurable operational controls. The build phase requires establishing process ownership before standardizing the workflow. The run phase translates ISO standard clauses directly into daily execution. Procedures, work instructions, and records function as active operating aids and visual controls rather than historical archives. Here, competence, communication, and supplier inputs are managed at the point of action. For an ISO 14001 framework, this involves actively executing environmental operational controls on the floor and continuously tracking performance metrics in real time. In an engineered operating system, you don't do ISO. You run your business using ISO controls. The check phase requires dismantling the traditional paperwork audit. Internal audits and layered checks become data-gathering telemetry signals. Nonconformities, data trends, and customer feedback are treated as systemic signals of process drift. Compliance obligations provide the baseline signal for ISO 14001 environmental frameworks. The check phase requires that corrective actions be validated for actual effectiveness, not just verified as complete. The improve phase is the strategic function of the system. Management review functions as a tool to make decisions, allocate resources, and remove systemic barriers. The system is actively refreshed as products, services, regulations, and risks change. These ISO objectives connect directly to daily management and lean continuous improvement frameworks. By integrating this framework, the check and improve loop turns static compliance into a self-correcting machine that drives real business value. Implementing a comprehensive operating system simultaneously would stall daily business operations. Deployment follows a strict 3-part delivery sequence. Part 1 focuses on readiness and implementation. Gap analysis and documentation development create foundational momentum. This phase prepares internal audit programs and training before execution. Part 2 uses clause-by-clause operating guides. This phase moves standard requirements into the run, check, improve workflows. This covers everything from customer support to production delivery and performance evaluation. Part 3 provides template sets. Standardizing outputs via foundation and operational templates locks the system in place. Sequencing the implementation prevents organizational rejection and protects revenue while the new standard is built. The ultimate goal is total organizational integration. An isolated QMS or EMS is fragile if it remains disconnected from core engineering disciplines. The ISO 9001 structure must connect directly to statistical process control, capability analysis, and inspection discipline. Root cause corrective action supports audit finding response and verifies the effectiveness of every change. By connecting ISO architecture to stable work standards and rigorous process control, You transform a required compliance standard into the central nervous system of your operational excellence.